Yay!
Oh,
Hi, Dr.
we're
Hammer.
starting. Hey, Dr. Hammer.
Hey, Dr. Hammer. This is our review for Moonlight.
Overall,
Thumbs up. Yeah, we
Two
liked
thumbs
it.
up.
we liked it.
Best movie we've seen so far.
Mm-hmm.
I think, first of all, we found, at least I found a lot of threads. I don't know which ones were the main thread,
I think it's the music.
but like classical music seemed to be like showing his true identity.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was also like the rebirth seemed to always be around water.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So like those two things were really
Oh,
prominent.
and the car. The car
Oh,
seemed
and
to
the
be
cars.
like,
Yeah.
Like
every
drink-
time like there's the car scene, there was like a serious conversation was about to happen, and when he eats, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever he eats, he has a serious conversation.
We thought that the characters all arced like really well.
And there was good development.
Yeah, and
of all of them.
there wasn't a single character that you weren't really like, oh, like what happened with them, or like why aren't they like mentioning
Yeah.
this person?
Yeah.
I also, I'm not sure if this is accurate, but I felt like Chiron, he kind of like becomes the mentor. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like
Juan.
Juan. I feel like they kind of switch at the end and he ends up being very similar to him.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like the cycle repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad they didn't like go real like too much into detail about like what happened to Juan. They kind of just said that there was a funeral, so we just can assume that he like got murdered in the drug game or whatever. But yeah, I liked his character a lot, honestly. So
So cute. Yeah.
I didn't notice a lot of like foreshadowing. I'm sure if I watched it again I would notice it. But like the only things I like could slightly tell was gonna happen was when him and his like guy friend who ends up being like his first lover in a way, when he sees him in the hallway and he's like talking about like having sex with this girl, it seemed like kind of like showing off for him, and that's the only like way I could be like, okay, is this like an actual thing that happened or is he like trying to show off for him? But I didn't really notice any other foreshadowing.
Yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of like other elements besides like the music, like the threads. Like I didn't see like the cinematography was all really good, but there wasn't really like anything that like stood out to me besides the music choice.
I saw that there was like a bunch of long shots in the film where it was like leading up to something that was like going to be an important scene, like the long shot from him going through his yard to after he went to Teresa's house, and he was like going through his yard and like picked the clothes off the clothesline, and then like that's when his mom was like yelling at him for money. And then the second long shot that I noticed was when he was going into the diner to meet Kevin. So I like those a lot.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good. They like built suspense, like you knew something was going to happen during those long shots.
I also thought this like fit perfectly the archetype of death and rebirth. Maybe less like death part, but definitely the rebirth. Like it was very evident. The only other thing it could possibly be is like man versus, I don't know, his like society, because he was in like a very poor area and like kind
Man
of.
versus himself too, because he's like
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Also, I like that it wasn't like all about him coming out.
Yeah, it was very subtle too. Like he was even at the end, like it wasn't like very explicit. He just kind of
Like could have been way overdone,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't.
Yeah, that's why I liked the plot, because like a lot of it like nothing was really like predictable.
Yeah.
Like we knew going into it was like a coming out story, but like didn't really know that much else. And I felt like the story plot line, like it wasn't like random, but like it like fed really well into the story. And then all the answers, like everything was tied up in the end too.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't left with any questions.
And I feel like the transitions between every rebirth was like really easy to follow. Like him like not doing very much, like starting to fight, and then like in the middle he like took like all the hits, and then all of a sudden it just like broke and he like took the chair, and then at the end he becomes like a drug dealer. But it was like very strategic and like a decent transition.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't seem like it was fake at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even at the end, like you don't know if he's gonna stop being a drug dealer or not. It just kind of like seems like it's looking towards the future, so it's not like overly realistic.
Yeah.
Or like unrealistic.
I feel like his final rebirth was like you see the ocean and that's like the water from like the first time that he and Kevin like kiss. So then this like next time he sees the water, then it's like his final rebirth, and it's gonna be like his final death and rebirth. So like maybe he'll be like on the upswing. He'll stop like dealing drugs and stuff. I really wanted the movie to last longer.
He was very upset.
Yeah, I loved this movie. I thought it was awesome. So
also with the rebirth, we talked about, well, Tori specifically mentioned like it looked like a baptism in the first one, and then the second, like I didn't see really a religious thing, but then the third one they were drinking red wine, which is like kind of remind me of the communion, and we like looked up like communion meant, it was like explaining your feelings like in a deep, meaningful like situation. So it fit really well for like each of those situations.
yeah.
Wait, okay, so like what? I'm still confused what Moonlight like means.
Yeah.
Is it like the moonlight reflecting on the water?
I
Because
think
like all those
yeah.
scenes were at night.
Well, like the
Well,
guy.
he also couldn't sleep at night, so I wonder if like that has to do with it. Because like the moon is out at night, and he like couldn't sleep at night.
Well, his mentor Juan said that like he was dancing like and like playing around in the moonlight, and that's when that old lady was gonna call him Blue, and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna call you Blue," and he said, "Nah, that I don't go by that."
So it's like an identity thing.
Yeah.
Also, this might be thinking too much into it, but like in the sky, it's completely dark, and the only things that are lighting the sky up are the moon and stars. So like the moon is obviously the biggest like light in the sky, so perhaps it's like finding the light in darkness.
Yeah.
But that might be too deep. I don't know.
Yep.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alright, cool.
We'll see you
See you
Wednesday.
tomorrow or
Wednesday.
Wednesday.